You know, in immigration law, you're constantly up against a huge challenge. How do you make your client's story not just heard, but actually believed? What if you could take their personal experience and turn it into objective, verifiable proof? Today, we're going to dig into how clinical evidence can become your most powerful strategic tool.
At the end of the day, pretty much every case you handle, whether it's a refugee hearing or an agency application, it all boils down to one thing: credibility. The decision-maker's assessment of your client's credibility. Their entire future, well, it rests right on that.
And that brings us to the real million-dollar question, right? Your client is describing these experiences of persecution, of just profound suffering. But the psychological impact, the anxiety, the depression, the PTSD, it's all invisible. So how in the world do you make that internal suffering tangible and undeniable in a legal setting?
We actually have a name for this. We call it the credibility gap. It's that critical space between your client's story and the hard proof the law demands. And bridging this gap, it isn't just important, it's literally the key to winning your case.
Now, letters of support are common. We see them all the time. But heartfelt advocacy, no matter how passionate you are, can be easily dismissed as subjective. The real solution here is a fundamental shift in your strategy. It's about moving away from supportive opinions and towards objective, clinical evidence that decision-makers are actually trained to respect.
And the difference is, well, it's stark. An advocacy report with its subjective, emotional tone is often just seen as biased. But an objective clinical report, that's built on validated assessment tools. It has a neutral, professional tone. It provides that credible third-party corroboration that adds serious weight to your client's testimony. So, how do we do it? How is this achieved? Well, it's all through a rigorous, evidence-based methodology. The whole goal is to translate a deeply human experience into quantifiable data that the legal system can understand, process, and weigh effectively.
Our process, it follows a two-session gold standard. We do this to be incredibly thorough. In that first session, we're doing a comprehensive intake and carefully detailing the trauma history. Then, the second session is a real deep dive into the specific symptoms and, this is crucial, their impact on your client's day-to-day life, their ability to function.
We quantify this impact using internationally recognized, validated psychometric scales. The first one is the PCL-5 for PTSD. Now, this isn't just about noting down symptoms. It's about generating a score. A score of 33 or higher gives you a clear, data-driven indicator for PTSD that directly corroborates your client's story of persecution.
We also use the PHQ-9. This measures the severity of depression. So when a client scores 10 or higher, it documents a level of depression that is significantly impacting their life. This provides another layer of objective evidence to really demonstrate the hardship they're going through.
And third, we use the GAD-7 to assess anxiety. A score of 10 or more gives us objective data pointing to a significant anxiety disorder, which is a really common and debilitating consequence of trauma. So you see, together, these tools paint a comprehensive clinical picture of your client's mental state.
And here's how it works in practice. A client's report of nightmares and fear is no longer just a subjective statement. It gets translated into a PCL-5 score. Feeling sad and hopeless becomes a quantifiable PHQ-9 score. We're literally converting their narrative into the hard data that powerfully strengthens your legal argument.
Okay, but how do these objective reports apply in the real world? This is not a one-size-fits-all solution. Not at all. Each report is strategically tailored to the specific legal test of your client's case.
Take a Refugee Protection Division hearing, for example. The report is absolutely laser-focused. It's there to corroborate the persecution narrative, to establish credibility by linking specific symptoms directly to the trauma, to document functional impairment, and to provide a clear nexus analysis for the board member. In a recent RPD case, a claimant's testimony about being tortured was powerfully corroborated by a PCL-5 score of 58, which indicates severe PTSD. That objective data provided a clinical anchor for their story, and it was a key contributing factor in a positive outcome.
Now, for humanitarian and compassionate applications, the strategy shifts entirely. Here, we're focused on proving unusual and undeserved hardship. This means we're documenting the severity of the mental health condition, its impact on their ability to function, and critically, the lack of adequate healthcare in their country of origin.
We had an H&C case where our report detailed a client's severe depression, and we paired that with research showing a near-total absence of mental health services in their home country.
This created a really compelling argument that removal wouldn't just be a hardship, but it would effectively be a sentence to an untreated, debilitating illness.
And the strategy? It adapts again for RAD appeals or a pre-removal risk assessment. A clinical report can address specific gaps in a negative RPD decision, provide updated assessments if a client's health has gotten worse, and establish the serious risk that removal poses to their well-being.
So what does all this really mean for your practice? Well, it means having a strategic partner who understands both the clinical and the legal landscapes you have to navigate every single day.
At Canada Therapy and Wellness, we get it. We know what you need. Our deep expertise in the IFHP system, that means seamless billing for you. Our Canada-wide team provides a fast turnaround. We're talking 2 to 3 weeks for an RPD report. You can trust our team of fully regulated clinicians, and our trauma-informed approach always protects your client. But ultimately, it's our unwavering commitment to objectivity that makes our reports so credible and so persuasive.
We really see ourselves as an extension of your legal team. We're here to provide the specialized clinical evidence you need to build the strongest possible case for your client.
And we've designed our referral process to be as straightforward and efficient as possible because we absolutely respect the intense demands on your time.
It's a simple 3-step process. First, you just contact us with the case basics. Next, we have a strategic discussion to align the assessment precisely with your legal objectives. And after that, we take care of everything. We book a free consultation directly with your client to get the ball rolling. So the next time you're facing that credibility gap, don't just advocate for your client's story. Prove it. The only question left is, are you ready to build your strongest possible case?